Have you ever felt like a guest in your own home? I did when I was 72. My husband had been buried for 21 days, and my son told me, "Mom, don't be home this weekend." The reason? They were having an engagement party at my house. If this story touched your heart, click subscribe and let me know in the comments which city or country you're listening from. I'm genuinely curious where you're watching from. I love everyone who comments. My name is Margaret Hayes. People call me Maggie. I live in my brick house in the Laurelhurst neighborhood of Portland, Oregon. This is the house my husband Robert and I bought in 1978, a 3-bedroom house with a large porch and a century-old oak tree in the yard. When I lost Robert after 47 years of marriage, every corner of this house was filled with him. The coffee stain in the kitchen, the paint mark on the garage door, the crack in the bedroom window. They were all part of our story. Robert's heart attack was sudden. He was holding my hand while watching TV one evening, and when I saw the expression on the doctors' faces at the hospital we went to by ambulance in the morning, I understood everything. He was in intensive care for 3 days. My son Daniel and his wife Natalie came every day, but I saw impatience in their eyes instead of pain. Can you imagine the pain of thinking about losing your soulmate? The funeral was crowded. Neighbors, former students from the school where Robert had retired, friends from golf. Everyone came. I said goodbye to my husband in my black dress. I took Daniel's arm. "My father was a wonderful man," he said, but his voice was mechanical, like a poem read from memory. Natalie stood next to me, her black dress very chic, her makeup flawless. She was ready to be photographed even at the funeral. 3 days after the funeral, Daniel came. We sat in the living room. He sat in Robert's chair. This bothered me, but I didn't say anything. "Mom, I need to talk to you," he said. His hand was on his knee, in a formal manner as if he were at a business meeting. "Of course, son. We can always talk. Natalie and our engagement anniversary is coming up. We want to throw a big party." I smiled. "How lovely. Where will you have it?" "At one of those nice restaurants." Daniel paused. In that moment, in that brief silence, everything changed. "We're thinking of doing it here. In this house." My hands trembled. "Here?" "Yes, Mom. The garden would be perfect. We're thinking of something for 100 people. Professional catering, a tent, an orchestra. Everything will be our organization. You won't have to do anything. You won't have to do anything." That sentence echoed in my ears. I wouldn't have to do anything in my own home. It's only been 3 weeks since we lost Robert, Daniel. "I know, Mom, I know. But look, Dad would have wanted it. Life goes on. And..." Those pauses again. "We'll do it this weekend." "This weekend?" "Saturday. The invitations have already been sent out. But it's okay. You won't be here that day." The words caught in my throat. "What do you mean I won't be here?" "Mom, it'll be stressful. 100 people. Setting up the sound system. It'll be too crowded. Natalie's mom invited you to her summer house in Clearwater. You'll leave Friday morning and come back Sunday evening. A nice weekend getaway, right?" I was being kicked out of my own home. Have you ever been excluded by your own son? When Natalie came that evening, she had fabric samples, photos, and color palettes in her hands. She dumped them all on the table. "Margaret, look at these. We're thinking white and gold tones. We'll hang crystal chandeliers from the trees in the garden. The tablecloths will be silk. And the band. Robert loved the big band, didn't he? They'll play swing music." How casually she used Robert's name. She was using the memory of my husband, who had died 3 weeks earlier, as an excuse for a party in my house, without my permission. Natalie. Oh, and the menu. Beef tenderloin, salmon, vegan options. Robert loved good food. It'll be a wonderful night in his memory. In memory of Robert? Or for your Instagram page? "How many people are coming?" I asked. "Around 100, maybe 110. Daniel's coworkers, my family, friends from college. Everyone's so excited." "So where am I supposed to go?" Natalie laughed, a high-pitched, artificial laugh. "Oh, Margaret, don't worry. My mom is waiting for you. You'll love the house in Clearwater. Ocean view, peaceful. Perfect for you. Perfect for you? Far away, off the beaten path, overlooked. I couldn't sleep that night. I tried to smell Robert's pillow, but even the scent was gone. When did this scent disappear? I looked at the ceiling and remembered years ago. Robert's joy, when Daniel was born in this room. Robert carrying me inside when we bought our first house. Every moment in this house was ours. Now strangers would set up tents over these memories, hang crystal chandeliers and dance. The next day, my neighbor Linda came over, my 50-year-old friend. She had fresh cake in her hand and worry in her eyes. "Maggie," I heard, "Daniel and Natalie are having a party. Did you hear? Natalie posted it on social media. Big celebration at the historic house in Laurelhurst." When I realized it was your house. Is this for real? I made coffee. Linda sat down at the kitchen table, where she had sat thousands of times over the years. "They are, and I won't be home that day." Linda's jaw dropped. "What?" "They're sending me to Natalie's mother's summer house. It's going to be stressful, apparently." "Maggie, do you realize what this means?" "Aware?" Linda leaned forward. "They're testing you, testing how obedient you can be. If you let this happen, it'll only be the beginning." "Test." The word echoed in my mind. "What can I do, Linda? He's my son." "The fact that he's your son doesn't make it right. This is your house, Robert's house, and he hasn't even been in the ground for a month yet." After Linda left, I went into Robert's study. His books, his records, his golf trophies were still there. I opened the drawer in his desk. There were papers, letters from banks, insurance policies, and a file. It said will and testament on it. I opened the file. There were notes in Robert's handwriting. Our lawyer Theodore Patterson's name, phone number, and a note. "I leave everything to Maggie. The house, the accounts, the stocks. Daniel is fine. He can stand on his own 2 feet. But Maggie needs protection. Don't let her sell this house. Don't let anyone pressure her. Ted, help her." My eyes filled with tears. Even Robert knew. Even? No, he always knew. Daniel's character, Natalie's ambition, he had protected me for her sake. I picked up the phone and called Theodore Patterson. "Margaret, I want to offer my condolences. Robert was a wonderful person." "Thank you, Ted. I have a question. The will, is everything in my name?" "Absolutely. The house, the accounts, the investments, everything is yours." He left some to Daniel, too, part of the stocks, about $100,000. "But the house and the main assets are yours." "Does Daniel know about this?" Silence. "Then, he didn't come to the reading of the will." I informed him by phone. But he didn't want to discuss the details. He said, "We'll talk when necessary." When necessary. That is, when you take control. "Ted, what if I wanted to sell this house?" "It's your decision. But Robert's notes make it clear he wanted you to keep this house." "What if someone forces me to sell it?" Ted took a breath. "Margaret, is someone bothering you?" I paused to think. Bothered? No. Manipulated? Absolutely. Not yet. But I want to take precautions. "I understand. Come to the office tomorrow. Let's talk." As Saturday approached, the house was under siege. On Wednesday, the trucks arrived. Tent poles, chairs, tables. My garden turned into a construction site. Natalie came every day to give orders. "No, no. Move the tent further left. It needs to be shaded under the tree. Arrange the tables for 8, not 6. The lights aren't bright enough, more." I stood in the corner watching. I felt like a ghost in my own home. On Thursday evening, Daniel came over. He looked tired. "Mom, did you pack your suitcase? You're leaving for Clearwater early tomorrow morning." "Daniel, I need to talk to you." "Mom, now's not the time. There are 1,000 details." "Daniel!" My voice was firm. My son flinched. "Sit down." He sat down. For the first time in years, he listened to me. "This is my house," I said. "Your father is dead, but the house is still mine, and you're throwing a party here without my permission." "Mom, but—" "Listen. You and Natalie told me something, and I agreed to get along with you." But this isn't right. It's only been 3 weeks since your father was buried. This house is still filled with his scent. And you want to throw a party here? Daniel's face turned red. Mom, we're doing this in his memory. Really? Or is it for Instagram? Silence. Daniel's jaw tightened. Natalie shared it on social media, I continued. The photos, the plans. Everyone knows. But no one asked me if I wanted this. Mom, you've always been understanding, we thought. You thought old Maggie wouldn't say anything. You thought she'd lost her husband. She's weak, obedient. Isn't that right? Daniel stood up. Mom, this conversation is going nowhere. The party is happening on Saturday, period. What if I don't give permission? He turned to me. There was anger in his eyes. What do you mean? If I don't give permission? This is my house, Daniel. My father left it to me. You're a guest. His eyes widened. A guest? I'm your son. And that doesn't make you the owner. He walked to the door. He stopped at the threshold. You'll regret this, Mom. If I cancel this party, what will I tell everyone? My family, my boss, my friends. You'll humiliate me. I'm not embarrassing you, Daniel. You're embarrassing yourself. He slammed the door and left. What would you do? If your son forced you to make such a choice, where would you draw the line? I woke up early on Friday morning. Outside, the sound of trucks, the shouts of workers. My garden had turned into chaos. I looked out the window. A huge white tent was being set up. Crystal chandeliers were being hung on the oak tree, Robert's tree. We had planted that tree together 45 years ago when Daniel was born. Now strangers were attaching metal hooks to it. As I sipped my coffee, the doorbell rang. It was Natalie. She had a folder in her hand and that fake smile on her face. Her hair was perfectly combed, her makeup professional, her outfit designer. Flawless, just like on the day of the funeral. Margaret, good morning. Have you packed your suitcase? The driver will come to pick you up around 10 o'clock. A driver? Of course. My mom sent a private car. A Lincoln Town car. Very comfortable. Leather seats, minibar. It's a 3-hour drive, but you can watch Netflix. Natalie, I'm not going. Her smile froze. The papers in the folder shifted. What? I'm not going to Clearwater. I'm staying here. She took a breath. A deep breath. Then she tried to bring back that smile, but her eyes were ice cold. Margaret, I know you talked to Daniel, but this really doesn't make sense. The party is tomorrow. Everything is ready. 100 people. This is my home. Yes, we know. That's why we chose this place. Robert's... Don't you dare mention Robert's name again. My voice was so harsh that Natalie recoiled. The folder slipped from her hand, papers scattering on the floor. I didn't bend down to pick them up. I just stared. My husband died. It's only been 3 weeks. I'm grieving. And you're throwing a party in my house. And you're kicking me out. No one is kicking you out. We just thought you might want some peace and quiet, since it'll be crowded and stressful. You're wrong. Natalie gathered the papers. I saw her hands were shaking. Good. I want you to shake too. She stood up, completely dropping the mask. Her face was flushed, her voice had changed, that sweet tone was gone. Look, Margaret, let's talk about the facts. This party is happening. Invitations have gone out to 110 people. We've paid the catering company a deposit. The orchestra has signed a contract. The decoration company has delivered the materials. We've spent $15,000. $15,000. Whether you're here or not, there will be a party in this garden tomorrow evening. $15,000. The words hung in the air. I put down my coffee cup and looked into Natalie's eyes. $15,000? How will you pay for that? She paused. She opened her mouth, then closed it. What? Daniel's job is good, but not that good. He makes $80,000 a year, right? After taxes, he's left with $50,000. You don't work. You live in a $1,500 apartment, car loan, credit card debt. So, how did you suddenly come up with $15,000? Natalie's face went pale. This is our private... Are you spending the money Robert left behind? The $100,000 from the will? Her eyes widened. Her mouth fell open. You, how do you know? I'm not a stupid old woman, Natalie. I spoke to the lawyer. I know everything. I read the will. Robert left Daniel $100,000 in stocks. But those stocks were for Daniel's retirement, for emergencies, not for an engagement party. Natalie's hand trembled as she reached for her phone. I'm calling Daniel. Right now. This conversation is over. Call him. Let him listen too. Put it on speaker so I can hear. Within minutes, Daniel was at the door. The sound of car tires, hurried footsteps, then the key turning in the lock. When he entered, he was out of breath, his face flushed, his tie loosened. He must have skipped work. Mom, what's going on? Natalie was crying on the phone. Sit down, Daniel, I said calmly. The three of us need to talk. We moved to the living room. Daniel sat in Robert's chair again. He always did that, as if trying to take his father's place. Natalie sat on the sofa, and I sat across from them, where Robert used to sit. In the good old days, we used to open presents in this room on Christmas mornings. When Daniel was little, 6 years old, he found his bike here and cried with joy. Robert filmed it. That tape is still upstairs, in the bedroom closet. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. When did that innocent child disappear? Mom, please, said Daniel. The party is tomorrow. Everything is ready. What's the problem? What's the matter? I leaned forward. Daniel, your father died. It's been 21 days. Not even a month has passed. His ashes are in this room right now, on the mantelpiece. Every morning I say good morning to him. Every night I say good night. And you want to throw a party for 100 people here. Mom, this is in his memory. No, I raised my hand. Stop. Don't finish that sentence. This isn't in his memory. This is for Natalie's Instagram page. This is to impress your coworkers. But in no way is it in Robert's memory. Silence. Daniel looked at me first, then at Natalie. Natalie leaned forward. Margaret, you're going through an emotional time. We understand. But life goes on. People keep celebrating. You've spent $15,000. Daniel froze. What? Natalie said so. Catering, orchestra, decorations. $15,000. Where did you get that money? Daniel's hand went to his tie, loosening it. Mom, this is our problem. From Robert's will? I cut him off. From the $100,000 he left you? Natalie jumped to her feet. This conversation is nonsense. It's our money. We'll spend it however we want. Sit down, Natalie, I said. My voice was so sharp she was startled and sat down. Yes, it's your money. But let's think about it. Robert left that money for retirement. For emergencies. To buy a house. To use when you have children. But you? You're spending $15,000 in one night. Mom, Daniel started, but I couldn't let him continue. I'm not finished. I spoke with Ted Patterson. I learned everything about the will. The house is mine. The main accounts are mine. The investments are mine. Robert protected you, yes. But he protected me too. And do you want to know why? Daniel didn't say anything. He just looked at me. Because he knew. He knew your character. He knew Natalie's character. He thought you needed protecting, but actually you were the one who needed protecting from yourself. This is nonsense. Daniel jumped to his feet. Dad loved me. He trusted me. He loved me, yes. But did he trust me? Look at the last few years, Daniel. How many times did you ask for money? How many times did you say there was an emergency? How much did we pay for Natalie's credit card debt? Natalie laughed angrily. Oh, I see. This is about me. You never loved me. I don't even know you, Natalie. You've been part of our family for 5 years, but I don't know who you are, what you love, what you fear, what your dreams are. I don't know anything about you. Because you never showed me. You only showed me your mask. Natalie's eyes filled with tears. But the tears seemed fake, theatrical. You're being unfair to me. I love Daniel. I want to make him happy. You want to make him happy? Then why did you spend $15,000? Why did you invite 100 people? Why did you choose my house? For Daniel's happiness, or for your ego? Natalie walked toward me. Her face was bright red, her hands clenched into fists. Be careful, Margaret. Very careful. Is that a threat? No, it's a fact. She stopped in front of me, looking down at me. I was sitting. She was standing. But I wasn't afraid. You're getting old. This big house is too much for you. You struggle to climb the stairs. Last week you told your neighbor the same story twice. Sometimes you forget to pay the electricity bill. Maybe. Maybe you can't live alone anymore. Maybe you need help. The words hung in the air. Help. I knew what he meant. Nursing home, care home, locking me up in an old folks' home, declaring me mentally ill, and taking over my house. Have you ever been threatened like that? In your own home, by your own son's wife? But I didn't panic, because Robert had taught me something. When you're afraid, make a plan. When you're angry, think, and never, ever show weakness. Get out of my house, I said. My voice was trembling but clear. What? Natalie was surprised. Get out, now, both of you. Daniel couldn't believe it. Mom, what are you saying? I said get out, I shouted. It was the first time in years I'd shouted at my son. My voice echoed off the walls, the windows, the ceiling. It was as if Robert was yelling with me. This is my house. Your father left it to me, because he knew. He knew what kind of person you are. He knew what kind of person Natalie is, and he protected me. And now I'm protecting myself. Get out! I walked to the door and opened it. Workers were standing outside watching. Neighbors were looking out their windows. Good. Let everyone see. Natalie grabbed her bag. You'll regret this, Margaret. I swear, you'll regret it. We'll come back with lawyers. We'll get you out of here. Go ahead, I said calmly. Go ahead and try. Daniel stood at the door. He looked at me. There was anger in his eyes, but there was something else too. Disappointment? Or shame? You'll regret it, Mom, he said quietly. I swear, you'll regret it. I closed the door. I turned the key in the lock. I put the chain on. Then I leaned against the door and slid to the floor. And I cried. I cried for Robert. I cried for Daniel. I cried for myself. I cried for that little boy, the one who found his bike, the one who smiled, the innocent child. Where did that child go? Linda was at my door an hour later. She had come with our neighbor Diane. Both of them had food in their hands and worried faces. Maggie! Linda came in and hugged me. I heard, the whole neighborhood heard. Daniel and Natalie called the workers back to the yard, and the trucks are hauling everything away. Diane went into the kitchen and made tea. She had spent so much time in this house over the years that she knew the kitchen like her own home. The whole neighborhood is talking, Maggie. Natalie posted a story on Instagram. Party canceled due to family drama. Elderly mother-in-law went crazy. Wow, I said with a bitter smile. She's playing the victim. Linda sat down at the kitchen table, took my hand. Maggie, you did the right thing. I know it's hard. I know it hurts. But you did the right thing. Then why do I feel so bad? Because you're a good person. And good people feel bad when they hurt those they love. But Maggie, listen to me. She looked at me, her eyes filled with tears. Robert was right. He protected you. And now you're protecting yourself. He would be proud. Diane brought the tea. The three of us sat at the table where Robert had read the newspaper for years, where Daniel had done his homework, where we had eaten thousands of family meals. This isn't over, Diane said quietly. They'll come back. Natalie won't give up. There are people like that, you know. They don't give up until they win. She was right. That afternoon, Ted Patterson called. Margaret, his voice tense. I got a call from Daniel's lawyer. My heart raced. What does he want? He's concerned about your mental state. He says you're making extreme decisions, acting irrationally, showing emotional instability. He's requesting a psychiatric evaluation. My breath caught. An evaluation? Are they going to declare me mentally ill? Ted took a deep breath. Margaret, I have to tell you this. If they take this to court, it will be a long and ugly process. They will scrutinize your every move. They will talk to neighbors, friends, doctors. You may appear vulnerable because you are in mourning, but, but, but their chances of winning are very slim. Robert's will is crystal clear. It was written in his right mind. There are 2 witnesses. It's notarized. And you're mentally sound too. Your doctor's records are there, you had a checkup last month, everything is normal. But still, they could cause harm. To you and to Robert's estate. The process will be exhausting. What should I do, Ted? Stay strong. Never be alone. Find witnesses. Document every move you make. If they want to make you look unstable, prove the opposite. Continue your normal life. Talk to your neighbors. Go shopping. Go to church. Do everything but record it. Take photos. Note the dates. Do you understand? I understand. One more thing, Margaret. Call me every day. Every day. If anything happens, anything strange, a threat, harassment, anything, call me immediately. When I hung up the phone, my hands were shaking. Linda was still there. She had heard everything. Maggie, there's no need to be afraid. We're here. Me, Diane, George, Helen. All of us. You're not alone. But that night, I was alone. Lying in bed, I sniffed Robert's pillow and thought, his scent was gone. When did he leave? When was the last time I felt it? I stared at the ceiling. Shadows danced on the walls, cast by the streetlights. How many nights had I spent in this room with Robert? 10,000? 20,000? He had been by my side every night. Now I was alone. Did I do the right thing, Robert? I pushed our son away. Maybe forever. Was it right? Then I remembered. Years ago, when Daniel was 10, he stole the neighbor's bike. Robert was furious. Daniel cried and begged. But everyone does it, Dad. What did Robert say? Just because everyone does it doesn't mean you have to. The right thing is the hard thing, Daniel. Always. And I want you to choose the hard thing. The right thing is the hard thing. I couldn't sleep that night. I got up at 6 in the morning, made coffee, went out onto the porch. The yard was empty. The tent was gone. The lanterns were gone. The chairs were packed up. There were only marks on the grass, pressure marks, the ghostly traces of a huge organization. I looked at the oak tree. There were still hook marks on its branches. Wounds. My tree was wounded too. While I was drinking my coffee, a car pulled up. A young woman I didn't recognize got out. Late 20s, denim jacket, backpack, professional but friendly. Mrs. Hayes. She stopped at the garden gate. I'm Emma Sullivan. I'm a reporter from the Portland Tribune. A journalist? I set down my cup. Yes. I'm sorry to bother you. But Natalie Brooks shared your story on social media, quite in detail. Something like, old mother-in-law ruined family celebration. Hundreds of thousands of people saw it. But She paused, looked into my eyes. I wondered about your side of the story. Your side? When was the last time someone asked about my side? When was the last time someone told me they believed me? Come in, I said. Coffee? Emma Sullivan sat down at the kitchen table, took out her notebook. But first she drank her coffee, looked around. It's a beautiful home, she said. Very warm, full of love. I lived here for 47 years, with my husband Robert. He passed away recently, didn't he? My condolences. I started telling her everything. I began with Robert's heart attack, the days in the hospital, the funeral, then Daniel's visit, the party, Natalie's demands. Emma took notes. Sometimes she paused, asked questions, like, how did you feel when they wanted to send you to Clearwater? Or, what did you say when Natalie threatened you? As I talked, I felt relieved. It was like confessing, but not to a priest, to the world, and strangely it felt good. Mrs. Hayes, Emma said finally, this is a very powerful story. It's not just your story. It's the story of thousands of women. Elderly people are abused by their families every day, financially, emotionally, psychologically, and most of them stay silent because they're ashamed or because they're afraid. I'm afraid too, I said quietly. I'm afraid of losing my son. But you're not staying silent, and that's courage. If you'll allow me, I'd like to publish this story. But, with your permission, with your real name, because the power of this story lies in its truth. I thought, is that right? To expose my son to everyone? To shame him? Then I remembered Natalie's Instagram post. She had exposed me. Old, crazy, irrational. No one had heard my voice. Publish it, I said, but add this. I love my son. I still love him. I love him every day. But I need to show him the truth, because sometimes love means saying no. Emma smiled. A perfect closing line. The article came out on Monday morning. Front page. Huge headline. Woman kicked out of her home while mourning. My son has forgotten me. Subheading. Margaret Hayes, 72, insisted on no parties in her own home 3 weeks after her husband Robert Hayes's death. Her daughter-in-law threatened to have her declared insane. There was a photo of me. I was sitting on the porch, holding Robert's photo. Emma had captured that moment. My eyes were filled with tears, but I was smiling, because I remembered that moment. She had taken that photo the day Robert came back from a golf tournament. We were so happy. The article was detailed. Emma had told everything, the will, the threats, Natalie's words. But it wasn't aggressive. It was just the truth. And the phone rang. The first caller was my old school friend Helen. Maggie, I read it in the paper. Unbelievable. What that bride did. Disgraceful. I'm coming tomorrow. We'll have coffee. Then Robert's golf buddy George. Margaret, I'm so sorry you lost Robert, but reading that filled me with pride. You're as strong as he was. You're brave. Come this weekend. The team is inviting you to dinner. Then Father Michael from church. Margaret, the congregation heard. Come to Sunday Mass. We'll pray for you. Then, strangers. Dozens, hundreds of strangers. Emails, text messages, letters. Linda taught me about social media. We created an account because people had tagged me. There were thousands of messages. I want to support you, Mrs. Hayes. You're a hero. I went through the same thing. My mother-in-law tried to kick me out of my home. You gave me courage. Your son is a disgrace, but you are perfect. I didn't like that last one. No, I told Linda. Daniel isn't a disgrace. He's lost. He's been manipulated. But he's still my son. Linda held my eyes. Maggie, you're an amazing mother. Daniel is lucky. I hope he realizes it someday. On Tuesday afternoon, the doorbell rang. I opened it. It was Daniel. He looked terrible. His eyes were dark circles, his hair was messy, his shirt was wrinkled. 3 days stubble. When was the last time I saw him like this? Mom, he said quietly, can we talk? I let him in. I sat him down. I gave him tea. He waited. He was rubbing his hands, shaking his knees. He was tense. I got fired from my job, he finally said. The cup almost slipped from his hand. What? My boss read the article. He called me into the office yesterday morning. Daniel, he said, you're a good employee, but I can't trust someone who treats his mother like that. I need someone to work with our clients, someone with morals. I'd been working for that position for 2 years, Mom, assistant manager. Now, it's gone. It's all gone. My heart tightened. Daniel, No. He raised his hand. His eyes were filled with tears. Listen, Mom, please, just listen. I fell silent. Natalie left me. Her voice broke. After the article came out, she was lynched on social media. Thousands of people messaged her. Insults, curses, threats. Her family called. Her mother yelled on the phone. You and that old hag ruined us, she said. Nat retried continually. Natalie packed her bags yesterday. You and your old mother ruined me, she said. My career opportunities, my social circle, everything is gone. Because of you. Then she slammed the door and left. Your old mother. The words hurt. But the pain on Daniel's face hurt even more. And you were right, Mom. His eyes filled with tears. A single tear rolling down his cheek. I was a terrible son. Dad was dead. You were grieving. And I only thought about making Natalie happy. I thought about my own pride. Her appearance, her status, what my coworkers would think. But I never thought about you. Not once. I held her hand. It was trembling, cold. My little boy's hand. Last night I looked at Dad's photo albums. Pictures from my childhood. Teaching me to ride a bike, taking me fishing, smiling proudly at my graduation. And I thought, what would he think now? What would he say if he saw me? He paused. His throat tightened. I started crying too. Dad would be ashamed of me, Mom. I know. And I'm ashamed too. I'm ashamed of myself. Of what I've done to you, of what I've done to Dad's memory, of what I've done to this house. I'm ashamed of it all. I got up and hugged him. My son, my little son, cried in my arms. Just like 8-year-old Daniel, who had fallen off his bike and skinned his knee, and I had hugged and kissed him. Just like 13-year-old Daniel, who had experienced heartbreak for the first time, and I had held him. Just like 18-year-old Daniel, who had cried when he left for college, saying, "I'll miss you, Mom." That Daniel was still there. He had just disappeared, and now he was coming back. "I forgive you," I said. "I already forgave you, son. Because I love you. No matter what, I will always love you." We stood there for minutes, mother and son, lost but now found. But the story wasn't over, because Natalie didn't stay silent. That afternoon, the news broke. Linda ran over. "Maggie, turn on the TV, now." I turned it on. It was a national morning show. The morning show had aired in Portland too, and on the screen, Natalie. She looked perfect, her hair professionally styled, her makeup flawless, a red dress, a pearl necklace. Her eyes were filled with tears, but they were controlled, dramatic. The host asked, "Natalie, this has been a difficult time for you. Can you tell us what you've been through?" Natalie wiped her eyes with a tissue. "Jennifer, you know, I just wanted to have a nice celebration, the anniversary of my engagement to Daniel, in memory of my father-in-law, Robert. But my mother-in-law..." She paused, took a deep breath. "Theater. Everything was theater. My mother-in-law never accepted me, for 5 years. Never. Nothing I did was enough. Even when Robert was alive, she was cold. And now, after Robert died, she acts as if I'm the guilty one. Natalie, but according to the article, you threatened her. You said, you need help." Natalie laughed, a bitter laugh. "No, it was misunderstood. I was worried. Margaret was 72. She had just lost her husband. She was under stress. I just wanted to be supportive, professional help, therapy, maybe some time to rest. But she kicked me out of the house. She yelled, 'Get out,' she said. I was scared. Lies, all lies." Linda shouted at the screen, "Liar! Manipulator!" Diane had also come. The three of us were watching Natalie on the screen. The host asked, "So, what will you do now?" Natalie looked at the camera, directly at the camera, as if she could see me. "I'm trying to learn to forgive. Margaret is old, sick, grieving. I'm not angry with her. I'm just sad. I'm sad for Daniel too, because now he's stuck in the middle. He loves his mother, but he wanted to build a life with me too, and now everything is ruined." When the program ended, the phone started ringing. Unknown numbers, messages, emails. Natalie was right. That old woman has lost her mind. That poor girl, what she's been through. Margaret Hayes should be ashamed. Linda hung up the phone. "Maggie, don't listen to them. People don't know the truth." But people didn't want to know the truth. Natalie's version was more interesting, more dramatic, more Instagram-worthy. I couldn't sleep that night. Lying in bed, the ceiling spun. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I really am going crazy. Maybe. The next morning, the doorbell rang early. It was Emma Sullivan. She had a laptop in her hand, determination in her eyes. "Mrs. Hayes, I'm writing a second article, and this time I'll go deeper." "What do you mean?" I researched Natalie Brooks, her past, and What I found is very interesting. Emma opened her laptop on the kitchen table. She showed me the screen. Natalie's real name is Natasha Brookshire. She legally changed her name 3 years ago. She lived in Seattle before moving to Portland. In Seattle? Yes. And there. She has an interesting past. She scrolled through the screen. Photos, articles, court records. In 2018, she got engaged to a businessman named James Whitmore. He was 55, a widower, wealthy. He was in real estate. Natalie Natasha at the time dated him for 6 months, got engaged, but she broke off the engagement 2 weeks before the wedding. Why? Because James's children got involved. They tried to protect their father from a young hunter. James refused to change his will. He left Natasha, but Natasha filed an emotional damages lawsuit. He promised, "I quit my job. I changed my life for him," she said. She got $50,000. I was speechless. Emma continued. Then in 2020, with a software engineer named Michael Chen, 42 years old, divorced, handsome, successful, she got engaged to him too. But Michael's family investigated Natasha. They found out about the James Whitmore incident. The engagement was broken off. Natasha moved cities, changed her name, came to Portland. And she found Daniel. Yes, Daniel. He was exactly her type. Gentle, kind-hearted, from a wealthy family, meaning you and Robert. The perfect target. Emma opened another file. But the most interesting part is this: Natalie's social media history. I looked at her Instagram accounts. I went back 3 years. And there's an interesting pattern. Photos scrolled across the screen. Natalie with different men. All middle-aged, all successful-looking. Captions. With my new love in Paris. My fiancé loves me so much. Together forever. All with engagement rings, all with promises of forever. But none of them end in marriage. They all end within a year or two. And each time, Natalie emerges with a story of heartbreak, betrayal, compensation. Have you ever met someone like that? Someone who seems perfect on the surface but has other plans? Emma, can you publish this? Won't there be legal issues? It's all public record. Court files, social media posts. Nothing is private. It's just that no one has compiled it all together. So, when will you publish it? Today, this afternoon. My editor approved it. The title is Natalie Brooks's Past, The Trail of the Gold Hunter. The article was published at 3 p.m., online first, then in the print newspaper. And this time everything changed. Social media exploded. Natalie's TV interview had gone viral, 500,000 views. But now Emma's article had gone viral too. It surpassed 1 million views in just a few hours. People were debating in the comments. So Margaret was right. Natalie is a fraud. Those tears, those words. It's all a lie. Poor Daniel. He was manipulated. TV channels called Emma interview requests. Emma accepted them all, and in every interview, she calmly presented the documents and told the truth. Natalie's Instagram account was closed. Her Facebook was deleted. Her Twitter was gone. Gone. Because the comments, messages, threats. There were too many. The TV show aired an apology. The host looked into the camera and said, "Yesterday we had Natalie Brooks here. We heard her story. But it seems we didn't hear the whole story. We apologized to Margaret Hayes and her family. And I sat at home on Robert's couch, watching the news with Daniel. Mom," Daniel said quietly, "how did I not see this for 5 years? Because you were in love. Love is blind. But you saw it from the very first day." "No," I said honestly. "I didn't want to see it either. I wanted you to be happy. But over time, his behavior, his words, his looks, something was wrong." Daniel buried his face in his hands. "I'm such an idiot." "No, you're a human being. Someone who makes mistakes, gets deceived, but learns." The phone rang. It was Linda. "Maggie," I gathered George and Helen. "We're all coming over tonight. We'll cook, we'll celebrate together. Because you were right. You won." But I didn't feel like I'd won. I just felt tired, very tired. Evening came. Linda, George, Helen, Diane, Father Michael, they all came. We cooked, set the table, sat together. Just like in the old days. Like we used to do, when Robert was alive. George raised his glass. To Margaret, the strongest woman. Robert would be proud. Everyone raised their glasses. To Margaret. But I wanted to cry. Because I had won, yes. But I had also lost. What had I lost? I lost the innocent days, Daniel's childhood, his youth. We couldn't go back to those days. Natalie had left her mark. She had left her wounds. Father Michael came over to me. Margaret, you look sad, yet it's your day of victory. Victory? My son's life is ruined. He lost his job. He lost his fiancée, maybe even his reputation. No, he took my hand. Your son won the truth. He won himself. He won the most valuable thing. Now he knows who he is. He knows what is right and what is wrong. And he won his mother back. What is that if not victory? The guests left late at night. Daniel and I sat on the porch. We looked at the stars. Mom, Daniel said, I want to ask you something. Ask. Can I come back? Can I live here? With you? For a while. Until I get myself together. My heart warmed. Of course, son. This is your home. It always will be. Thank you. He paused. And Mom, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. For everything. I know. And I forgive you. Because I love you. I always will. That night, before going to bed, I looked at Robert's photo. It was on the mantelpiece, and he was smiling. We did it, Robert, I said quietly. We saved our son. We saved our home. We saved everything. The wind blew. The window opened slightly, and I swear I heard Robert's voice. Good job, Maggie. Good job. 3 months later, Daniel started a new job. A smaller company, less money, but happier. We have breakfast together every morning. Something we never did before. Even when Robert was alive, Daniel was always in a hurry. Now, he makes time. Mom, I have a meeting with clients today, he says one morning. But I'll be back early in the evening. Shall we work in the garden? We need to prune Dad's oak tree. Sure, I say. Robert used to prune it every fall, too. On weekends, we go grocery shopping together. Daniel used to go alone and come back in a hurry. Now we walk together, run into old neighbors, chat. One day, we ran into an old acquaintance at the supermarket. He saw Daniel, and his face changed. Daniel, it's been so long since I've seen you. Where's Natalie? Daniel smiled easily. We broke up. It was for the best. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm happy. I'm living with my mom now. The house is much more peaceful. The woman looked at me. Margaret, you're an amazing woman. I read the newspaper. You're so brave. I was just protecting myself, I said. Natalie? I heard she went back to Seattle. Found another target. A doctor, around 50, widowed. New Instagram account private now. But still the same photos. Engagement rings, romantic dinners, forever promises. Emma Sullivan stops by occasionally. She's writing a book. It's called Elder Abuse, The Silent Epidemic. My story will be in it. Mrs. Hayes, she says one afternoon, your story has inspired hundreds of thousands of women. People are messaging me. I'm going to say no too, they say. I'm going to be the boss in my own home too. You started a change. I just survived, Emma. No, you resisted. And that makes a difference. Linda, Diane, and I still meet every Thursday. Our book club. This week we're reading To Kill a Mockingbird. We're discussing Atticus Finch's words. Courage is knowing you'll be defeated before you start, yet starting anyway, and seeing it through to the end. Atticus was like you, Maggie, says Linda. You thought you'd lose, but you still fought. I didn't think I would lose, I say. I was just trying to do the right thing. George stops by occasionally. He brings Robert's golf clubs. Maggie, give these to Daniel. Robert would have wanted you to. One day we all go to the cemetery together. Robert's grave. The stone is simple. Robert Hayes, loving husband, proud father, faithful friend. Daniel leaves flowers. Dad, I'm sorry. I let you down. But now I'm on the right path. I promise. I leave flowers too. Thank you, Robert, for protecting me, for protecting Daniel. You're still with me. I feel it every day. The wind blows, the leaves rustle, and I know Robert hears us. He's smiling. 6 months later, it's Robert's birthday. We used to celebrate it every year. Big party, cake, champagne. This year it's just Daniel and me. We go out into the garden, under the oak tree. We put down a stool, with Robert's photo on it, his favorite bottle of whiskey, a golf ball. Happy birthday, Dad, says Daniel. His voice trembles. We miss you every day. You're amazing, Robert, I say. You always were. And you're still with us. At home, in the garden, in our hearts, everywhere. Daniel touches the oak tree. Dad, do you remember this tree? We planted it when I was born. We said, for Daniel. And now it's still here. The roots are deep, the branches are strong, just like our family. We both cry, but they are happy tears, because our family has been mended. We were broken, yes. We were lost, yes. But now we have found each other again. That evening, Linda, Diane, George, Helen, Father Michael, they're all coming. We're sitting in the garden, remembering Robert, telling stories. George tells the story. Once, Robert and I were playing golf. He lost his ball in the bushes. We searched for half an hour. Give it up, I said. Let's use a new ball. But he said, no, Margaret gave me this ball. I'll find it. And he did. It took an hour, but he found it. Everyone is laughing, crying. Helen says, do you remember Margaret and Robert's wedding? 1978, summer? Robert forgot his jacket. Panic! But Margaret just laughed. It doesn't matter, she said. If you're here, everything's fine. And it was. For 47 years, everything was fine. And I look around me. That was family. Not blood ties, but bonds of love. Not just Daniel, but all these people. They're all my family. Emma Sullivan is coming too. Mrs. Hayes, she says, my book is finished. I brought you the first copy. I look at the cover. The Silent Epidemic, Stories of Elder Abuse and Resistance. And on the back cover is my photo, and a quote. Sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes strength is silent. And sometimes an old woman teaches a young world life's greatest lesson. Margaret Hayes. I'm crying. From happiness, pride, exhaustion. Your story has reached millions of people, Mrs. Hayes, Emma says. I've received messages from hundreds of women, men, families. Maggie gave me courage, they say. Now I'll be the boss in my own home. You didn't just save yourself. You gave hope to others. 1 year later, today is a special day. It's Daniel's promotion day at his new job. He's become the assistant manager. We're going to a celebration dinner. Daniel, me, Linda, George. While sitting at the restaurant, Daniel stands up. He raises his glass. Thank you all, but especially my mother. Mom, you taught me life's greatest lesson. Honesty is more important than anything. Love sometimes means saying no. And family. Family isn't the people we choose, but the people who accept us as we are. Everyone claps. I'm crying. On the way home that evening, we sit on the porch. We look at the stars. Mom, Daniel says, I want to say something. Go ahead. There's a girl. From work. Her name is Sarah. She's a teacher, 35 years old, widowed, has a son. She's very different from Natalie. Simple, honest, kind. And she wants to get to know you. But only if you're ready. There's no rush. I smile. Of course I'd like to meet her. Invite her over for Sunday breakfast. Really? Really. Because I trust you now. You know who's good and who's bad. That night, before going to bed, I look at Robert's photo. Did you see, Robert? Our son is good. Really good. You were right. You protected him, you protected me, you protected the house. And now everything is in its place. The wind is blowing, the curtain is moving, and I know Robert is listening. He's smiling, he's happy. Now, as I tell this story, I am 73 years old. Daniel is beside me, with his new life, happy. The house is still ours. The oak tree in the garden is still standing. And I am still here. Do I regret it? Never. Was it complicated? Absolutely. I took the risk of losing my son, but to find him, to find his true self. What would you have done? If you had to choose to please your family or to stay true to yourself, what would you have chosen? Sometimes the right path is the hardest path. Sometimes love means saying no. And sometimes an old woman teaches a young world life's greatest lesson. May this story show you that being old is not weakness, but strength, experience, wisdom, and most importantly, knowing your own worth. No one should make you feel like a stranger in your own home. Know your worth. Stand up for what is right. And never, ever feel like a guest in your own home. I am Margaret Hayes. This is my home, and no one, but no one, can make me leave here. I look forward to your comments. How did this story make you feel? Do you support Margaret? Should Daniel have been forgiven? Did Natalie get what she deserved? And, most importantly, which city or country are you watching from? I read every comment and am grateful.